Oh boy. Okay, so I did not like losing that much health because if we are kind of where I think we are, you know, we're getting down to the wire here. I need things. We don't need to watch that shit again. Alright, so I'm gonna get my tent. Yeah, Michael deal with you. I'll be in this fabric that protects me from you. I wonder if I could just lure them into the tent. Oh, but then I can't see them. Well, I fucked up. I lost my box spawn. Shit. Behind the tent, Dane. Maybe I can get him. Maybe, maybe. You don't know. Let's find out. Oh, yeah. That doesn't count? There we go. It's okay. Fucking ass, man. So annoying. I know you're there, you piece of fucking shit. Just stand up. Oh, they got little designs on their little balaclavas. I never noticed that. That's kind of fun. So, who else is up here? Where is Dynamite Man? Maybe I just wasn't patient enough, but maybe if I just waited. Dynamite Man up there? Dynamite Man is not up there. Oh, they haven't been triggered yet, have they? Well, let's try the patience approach, which has always served me well in survival horror games where I have to shoot people! And to see who comes to me, shall we? I'll just rock 'em, sock 'em, lemon chop 'em. Come on, friends, go on down, you don't come up on this here way like this. I know you coming, big group of y'all coming to see me, shit. Let's seize ya. Closer because I don't want the snipper is. Sorry, he's not snipper, but the dynamite. All they gave me was money, which I appreciate because money buys things, but I don't want them to land in dynamite land either. Okay. Mike, you want to do some work for me, brother? Me out a little bit more? Or are they? Dynamite Man isn't here still. What's going on here? It's down this way. I don't see anybody. They've got it, so I have to leave where I am. Okay. How about that? I want to go back to my box. I want to be over here by the tent. Makes me feel safe. Makes me feel like I have a chance. Except for that. Oh, I managed to actually hit him. Shit. Accident. Shoot him in the dick! Shoot him in the dick! Thanks for dropping by, dude. Shot you in the dick. This guy. Shoot him in the tits. Dick is on the other side of the ass. Drop damage. Need your stuff. Oh, that was up here. No, it happened with pushing forward. Does anybody else have this issue with this game on PS4? Or maybe it's not just PS4. I feel like that was never an issue before. Oh, he's there. I feel like there were more dudes that came my way though, weren't there? Are we just bursting with men here? It's raining men! Hallelujah, it's raining! Wow, I can't even knife these guys. You want my dick though? Alright. Showing up. Big small, miss small! Right. past this. It's not part of our arrangements anymore. Stop. Watch yourself. Let's back up. Let's take stock of our wares where I can't even see if I'm being snipped. Snipers, man, are such a problem. Okay, I can hear that guy yelling up there, being irritating. It's a dynamite man, I think. Maybe if I throw a flashbang and dynamite man, I don't like that. What do we think? Oh, well, I gotta deal with these guys first. Good plan, Dane. Good plan. Really, really good. Really well thought out. Except for the whole more dudes are coming. I'll stand in the middle of my hallway. Run away. Okay, he really staggers back when I hit him there, doesn't he? Oh, that helps. Appreciate you, sir. You cost me very few bullets. What am I doing with over here? Where'd he go? That's concerning. Okay, hang on. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Oh, here they come. I need them to filter through the way I want! Mike, you have not... I mean, like, you helped a lot. I appreciate it. But what else are you gonna do for me, man? Drop some tactical nukes on these motherfuckers? I'm like invincible, man. I was trained by the President's daughter. I got this shit covered, man. I fucking killed Krauser, dude. Who... The more I think about it, he was just filler, man. He did not matter. And they did not need that filler. Like, he wasn't there long enough to give a shit about, like, at all. I mean, I sort of like the idea that maybe, like, Wesker had assembled a bunch of douchebags, including Ada, to, like Wesker's behind it all kind of thing. I always kind of hoped that's where we were going. And that, maybe Krauser was just one of his, like, flunkouts, but that's not the direction that they went in. Like, I did not like that they dropped Umbrella, but I was like, okay, I can kind of work with this idea that Wesker was, I mean, because he was there in Code Veronica X when they added him, which, I don't know enough about why they did that. Because the original version, he doesn't appear at all. There's nothing, there's no Wesker happening in the Dreamcast. And then they added him in the PS2 version, and I don't understand why. But I kind of could have worked with the whole, like, Wesker was there in the first one working for whoever, and then there was Ada, and then there wasn't anybody in 3, but it works that 3 was kind of its own thing. And then like, Umbrella was essentially the problem there, because it was the UBCS, Nikolai being a dickhole, and the Nemesis side. That kind of worked. And then picking up again was sort of the overarching X-Files plot instead of Monster of the Week kind of thing. And that, you know, is that we got Ada and this asshole Krauser here. And then it went nuts in 5 because they killed Wesker. And they made him... Like, 5 Wesker was a vamp and it was fun to do, but it was not... Something just didn't quite stick the landing for me. And maybe it's because I didn't play it when it came out. Like, 4 is kind of where I wandered off. Because about that time I was doing other things in my life. But, when I finally played 5, I was like... what? But I already, you know, I already had played 6. Yeah, I had played 6 and I had started to play Revelatons, the first one. So, I'd already seen sort of how far off the rails I thought we were on, we'd gone. And then killing Wesker, I was just like, well, fucking Resident Evil's over then, isn't it? That's kind of what I thought. Because, like, they got rid of Umbrella, so okay, let's shift to Wesker. Like, I feel like you need that one arch enemy that you work your way up to, right? Like, you need your Sephiroth. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen, but... it didn't. Pardon me, I slipped off for a wee and a drink. No weed and drink, so they got this cranberry ginger ale. fuck yeah, ginger ale, damn. Need to lay off the actual, like, caffeinated cola. I already don't drink the sugary stuff, but, there they are. Trying to, you know, one step at a time, like, you ever try this stuff for, like, weight control, but you love fast food and you tend to go by it all the time? Just get this sandwich. I'm finding that is very helpful. The fries are just... They ain't worth it, man! Come on, dude, I fucking see you. This guy wants fries. Come on, brother. Every time I get up, I'm looking around my place and I'm thinking of all the stuff I'm just gonna drive over to the charity and I'm just like, man, there's so much shit I want that, like, I care about it, but I don't care enough to pay to have it shipped. And that's, will definitely inform my decisions going forward. Well, I expect to stay at my new home for at least the rest of my corporate career. I don't think that will be the last residence I have. Come on, you fucks. These guys are like, I'm gonna tell you about this. So fuck, so while I was having my little break, you know, I'm looking on the Facebook Marketplace, or whatever, just trying to, cause like I put a few things up there, like, here's a rowing machine, $20, just fucking get it out of here, you know, stuff like that. He's shooting, but is he helping? And I frequently see, or it seems frequent anyway, like one of the things they list, so get this, I can't list like a knee scooter for like break your foot, which is why I had it, but they list like rental properties, and there's some sketchy shit in there, man. But like, 'cause I mean, I've rented like pretty much my whole adult life, and well, yeah, because if I wasn't renting, it was because someone was cool enough to let me live there for free, which was probably meant I was staying with my parents. And you just don't, there's just this weird shit now that you see on the market. That kind of shit did not pop up back when I was looking. And it was like, I mean, I did live in a fucking slum once on my own. There was one, like, called it the crack house that my mom rented that we lived in, but that wasn't my fault because I didn't sign that lease. But there was one that was my fault that I lived in. It was fucking awful, and ended up going to court and all this stuff. And you do what you do, but I'm not fighting landlords ever again. And I don't have to now because I'm my landlord. I'm sure I'll fight somebody else. But whoa! Calm down there, Landlord City. And I'm looking at some of the stuff that pops up, and I'm like, you want $2,400 for a 4-bedroom house that's like an old war house, and it's a private rental, like it's not through a fucking company. Like that was my other thing, was after I lived in that one shitty apartment that was my fault, I was part of the problem I had in trying to get like justice through the boards and stuff was that it was a private rental. Like, it was between him and me, and that was it. There was no agency, there was nothing like that. And, up here, and I had that backfire on me before, where there's this law, I don't know if it's still the case anymore, but in Ontario, the law at the time was that if your landlord or landlord's representative, so usually a family member, resided within the same house, and you shared a kitchen, I believe it was specifically the kitchen, you actually had no rights under the landlord and tenant board, and they could just kick you out, take your, like they could just go Wild West on you. There was nothing, and that wasn't illegal. It just meant that the laws did not, like, the rights did not apply to you. And when I found that out, I was like, fuck. And there were 3 of us renting rooms in the house, and the landlord's son lived there. And yeah, we had a chat on the smoking porch, and we all bailed on the same night because the rights were not applied. The landlord didn't have rights either, and we were like, nah, and we just fucking pieced. Because, well, I mean, there was other issues. It wasn't just that we discovered we had no rights, but it was like we need to go before he figures it out that he can do whatever he wants, and he didn't know that either. Sorry, as I'm telling my landlord story, they're trying to get to the point. Sucks to my asthma started up. It's still there a little bit, but I took an inhaler. I just couldn't fucking find one. Usually there's one on the bed with me, but he's been lost. Anyway, the thing I saw on Facebook that made me like, what? Was some motherfucker who had this big fucking preamble about only serious inquiries only, renting their detached garage, non-insulated, for $400 a month, and they don't specifically say in it, this is for parking. Like, that's not unheard of to, like, rent out your parking space, or something like that. Like, that's not, like, genius or anything like that. Like, the vibe on the ad was, it's not legal to rent your fucking garage as a unit, but I'm doing it anyway. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That hurt a little bit. It's like, but you see stuff like that around this area. Like, I'm on the very, very outskirts, so it's scary to see it here, but the whole, like, $800, sleep on a mattress in the hallway of a 5-bedroom home where 18 people live. Like, you see a lot of these, like, illegal sort of rooming houses kind of happening. I'm not familiar with the law, I don't know exactly what you call that. Or, like, I saw this, there's a subreddit, which is, I think, Canadian housing. I'm sure, like, your area has the same shit. And it was, like, the landlord came in and just made a room out of nowhere. And he just put up, like, a shower rod and a curtain, and another tenant moved in. Like, it wasn't like that when I left home. It wasn't like, yeah, for the first bit, like, I have roommates and that kind of thing. But we were paying, like, maybe $250 each, like, no big. And we had our own rooms, and, you know, we were doing, come on, guys, we were doing our own thing. There was nothing, it was mostly above board, like, even if you were dealing with a private landlord, which, and from my experience, I don't recommend. I say go with a corporation because they have lawyers that tell them what they can and can't do. And believe me, just because your lawyer is inept about law doesn't mean that will serve you well. You're a landlord, sorry. Sorry, my lungs are still a little bit like... oh my god, wait, what the hell, guys? I'm a little confused here. That's what I thought. You just see stuff like that. Like the slummy bachelor that I lived in that I hired a lawyer about, and it just wasn't worth it in the end. Because it turns out, even if you win at the landlord-tenant board in Ontario at least, that doesn't mean that what the board rules they have to do, you still have to take them to civil court. So even though I won, I was like, I have to do this all again? Fuck you. So I just switched to corporations. And it used to be, like, as a renter, like, if they were shitty, you'd just be like, well, fuck it, I'm out of here, I'll find something else. No big deal, because you weren't boxed down. Like, you had your... Like, even if you had to break your lease, like, it wasn't the worst thing ever. Now, like, I'm talking over $1,000 for, like, a 1-bedroom. That's a lot of last month's rent to lose just because you're fucking over it. I just, it kind of breaks my heart. Like, I'm getting out, but that was not easy to do. Wow, asshole! Should have seen that coming. Shit. Standing there like, no, the guy with all the wavy palms. So well with the knife. Back up on the shoe that. This guy. Yeah, so my trick doesn't work with you guys. That's you, dude. Yeah, I'm just kind of flabbergasted by it. A little bit heartbroken. Like the hot housing market where you could get like $1 gajillion for your shitty Warhouse is like supposed to be over now, or like cooling off, but it's not stopping all this shit from happening. And landlords weren't allowed to do shit during COVID, so now they're like, vengeance! I think, anyway. And I'm not sure you can totally blame them, because it's, you know, business is business is business, but business has a way of shaking out on its own as an well, because, you know, it's an organic system, or like anything else. When it's unregulated, I'm not saying regulated, I'm just saying when you let a system do what it wants to do, it's going to go in the direction that it naturally leans toward. And it's leaning in a way that just sucks. It just sucks balls. So as much as I'm like whining and bitching and complaining about how much everything sucks and can't find fucking roof racks and oh, it's $10,000 to move all my shit. Like, I am so lucky that I have the option to be pissed off about that. I can get out. So that even if I'm moving in my house and shit breaks, it's my problem, which is actually nice. Because I can decide to fix it, and I can decide how well I want to fix it based on what I can afford. Like, I don't need, like, just whatever somebody else decides, and I don't have to deal with this crazy fucking rental market anymore. Which, having been a renter for so long, like, legit just sort of breaks my heart. Because I can't imagine being 19 and leaving home right now, like I did, and being like, you know, got him in! I knew we'd see him again. Like the first time, no, I think I went back twice. I can't imagine what that looks like. Like, it used to be you just got a room with your girlfriend or whatever, or a couple. But, like, you didn't live with anybody who was over 30. And now that's, like, it sort of reminds me of, like, you ever read, like, old English literature, even you just watch movies from it? You know what I mean? And the way that people lived back then, they lived in these slummy, shitty, roomy, housey things. Like, they had, like, a shared outhouse out back, and people were just sort of crammed in every nook and cranny that they could be in. And that just was par for the course. That just was what it was. And that's just how people lived. And you had, like, everybody sleeping in the same bed. You know, it just was, oh, I missed big time. You know, is that, we went back to that. This idea of having your own residence was, like, a very, I guess, like, middle class, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, we call it sort of middle and upper class here in North America, I think, regardless of which country. You know, is that, are we returning to a state of that shit? Where an entire family lives in a state that way. And I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do if you're on either a real low salary, you're not on a salary, but you're not making enough per hour that you can fucking it is gonna do it for you. Or you're on government dole, because that shit ain't a lot. It ain't enough. What did I get? I think when I was on welfare, pretty sure I got $762 a month, and that was it. And that was a long time ago when that was worth a hell of a lot more. Gunman is still out there. Like, what are you supposed to do, man? Okay, let's see. But where's Gunman? I don't see him. Never mind, he'll pop out, right? Yeah. Oh, fuck. Are you gonna run right into him, or? Oh, he does not care about the TMP tickly bees. You like shotguns? I like shotguns though. I know you didn't like my TMP, but I do like my shotgun. Thank you, Donovan. Yeah, that guy was cool. Oh, so yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. This is the shit I think about when I play and I'm not recording. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Oh! It's just not as much fun when I die. Oh, man. Fucking snipers, man. They're the worst.